Hi everyone. Um, I usually we start out this stream with a lot of just like, "Yay, welcome everybody," but this is absolutely devastating, and I felt like I wanted to bring in some of the knowledge and some of the expertise into the situation that is happening in Turkey and Syria right now, and we'll talk about a couple other things. And yeah, I'm back in the studio. Back in the studio. I had a long work day. I got my I got my tea and nothing special cup. This is a very rough, a little bit of time to put everything together, but we're gonna get into the point of everything's going on. So I don't know if you heard. There has been a very large and devastating earthquake in Turkey and Syria. So this is what we're talk about, and then a couple of the resources that the world is already providing. Exactly, prayers and protection. Pigeon Mac, welcome again. Robert, um, Beachside, everybody's good to go here. I think we got a crowd. Let me share my screen really fast so that way we can. Let me see, so that way we can get it going on a little bit because I really wanted to do a little bit more live update and everything too. Okay, so it has been all over the news, so I'm not going to show any. I don't want to show any images of the children because it's been all over the news where they just pulling all the children out of the rubble, and I really wanted to get into what the earthquake is really. It really is. So bear with me here a little bit. I have been to Turkey. I've been to Istanbul before, but it's been a while. It's been a while since I've been to Turkey. Okay. Okay, so I did wanted to show some rescue operations that are happening. Oh, I guess I can do window. Trying out something new over here to see if it gets a little bit smoother for all of you. On the way. And you can go to Reuters and they have all kinds of different videos of the devastation. And this is the aerial footage that I wanted to show it to you after the commercial break. And then we're gonna get into like what caused the earthquake. So this is the aerial footage of one of the regions, and the location of it will show to you in a minute. This is absolutely devastating. This is just one of the neighborhoods. One of the neighborhoods completely wiped out. Right now, the estimated death toll is about 7,000. I last checked. It's probably closer to 8,000 right now. And in Syria, it's a little bit over 6,000. So the problem with Syria is because there are still sanctions in place due to the war and everything else going on within Syria. Those sanctions are actually preventing. So the sanctions are actually preventing from people doing something absolutely wonderful and helping them out because what the emergency personnel cannot get into the country, especially the emergency personnel that got dispatched through the UN, through a lot of the humanitarian help, and they cannot get dispatched to Syria because of the sanctions. So they are actually try to work right now to do a limited drop all the sanctions to pass some of the emergency personnel to help with the rescue missions. And Syria death toll, last time I checked, is about 6,000. So I'm gonna share these. Okay. Sharing a screen with you. It is an impossible situation. And that's one thing. All the different, during this type of situations, all the differences aside, all the wars aside, they are there are so many humanitarian missions, so many humanitarian support that is out there in the world, and try to get it out. And we're gonna, yeah, hit that like button. Thank you. Okay, so within past 24 hours, there has been multiple earthquakes that actually hit, and then this is coming from USGS website. And so this is where the Turkey is located. Turkey is located on the Black Sea. And as you can tell, there have been a lot of activities. By the way, I do want to mention that I'm not a seismologist. I just have some expertise from emergency management standpoint, because you have to learn like what the earthquakes are. So this is Turkey right here. Um, Hold on just 1 second. Wayne is trying to play on his phone on behind a screen. So this is one of the faults right here that we're gonna get into in a little bit. And let's see, we'll get to that in a minute as well. Okay, so what is earthquakes, and obviously why it is very important for the Turkey to actually have this kind of devastation. So the last comparable earthquake within Turkey was in 1939, and as of this morning, it was 7.8, the largest, and the second earthquake hit was 7.5, and it was not a follow-on earthquakes. Yeah, see. It was not a follow-on earthquakes that happened. It was actually a second hit, and we're gonna get into it in a little bit, and especially how long did the 7.8 magnitude earthquake last? So, as I mentioned, it's about 7,000 people so far have been killed, and then there are so many more that are actually missing after a pair of destructive earthquake that shook Turkey. And particularly hit was Aleppo in northern Syria. And let's see, Turkey. Aleppo would be this is what happens when you have a lot of work to do and then you came unprepared. But bear with me. There are, let's see. There are multiple shock waves that came after the earthquake. What I wanted to show is on the maps exactly where it is located and where the Aleppo is at. I know I showed you a little bit of a USGS map earlier. And for some reason my other link wasn't working. Alright, I'll just split Aleppo. Okay. So this is Aleppo, Turkey, right here. It says, sorry, Aleppo, Syria, and it happened right around this area where the Turkey is at, and it happened on the faults that are major faults right over here, and basically the both earthquake hit at the same time. At the same time, within hours apart. I mean, at the same place. Okay, let's get into it. Let me gather my thoughts for a little bit. So basically, let's talk about. Okay, so Aleppo, northern Syria. That's right. So it's basically a nation with that has a brutal civil war right now, and in Syria, the death toll about 6,000 people as of right now, and well, how the questions that some people have is how long did the 7.8 magnitude earthquake truly last? So the earthquake waves are like ocean, right? And I'm going to show you. And then the seismologist, obviously, we don't have to really get into this. I am really unprepared, so bear with me. I'm loving this. Okay. I closed everything out, all my tabs. There it is. Okay, so 7.5, that was the after, and it's not an aftershock, and it's actually that's actually an earthquake. Okay. So basically, earthquake surface waves are like ocean waves, and then the longer you drop the stone in a body of water to create the disturbance, the waves will cause the ripple effect. And the same goes for the earthquake. When the earthquake hits, it causes the ripple effect within the earth crust, the earth surface. And the actual slip that triggered was 7.8 earthquake. That was the main shock that occurred, and about 75, and it lasted for about 75 seconds. That's according to USGS. And for most people in Turkey, that quake probably resulted in one or 2 minutes of shaking. And but the earthquake waves, they rippled around the world and shaken from Turkey's earthquake felt by seismometers like across the world. And that's perfectly normal, but because this is the actual picture of the activity of the earthquake that felt all over the world, and it felt in North America and in India and everywhere else, and because the scientists can basically visualize the process of the earthquake waves by producing what's called like a record section, and they take plots from different seismometers around the world, as shown right here, and they are putting it all together as the earthquake waves travel through the shock, right? Because it's causing like a little ripple effects. And basically, it is typical for the aftershocks to occur within earthquake, um, and then the aftershocks can last for weeks or months after the main earthquake actually hits, and then they tend to diminish in intensity and frequency with time. So I wouldn't be surprised if they actually had more smaller earthquakes within days or weeks. And then there's like maybe 1 in 15 chances they're given earthquake is a foreshock is preceding a bigger quake. And but this is an unlikely case with this one because we already had the 7.5. Let's see. So about 9 hours after Turkey's initial 7.8, which is right here, 7.8 magnitude, which is shook Syria right here, and it's struck near Nordagi, Nordagi, and at 4:15 a.m. local time on Monday, and later on a shallow magnitude 7.5 occurred 60 miles north. So this right here, the distance right here is between, it's about 60 miles. So let me zoom this in a little bit for you. So the distance right here is about 60 miles. And ordinarily, this could easily be considered an aftershock, but it was an unusual intensity because it was larger magnitude, and but it's a little bit more complicated in this case. And basically, if we take a look at this map right here, and you can tell that 7.8 and 7.5 magnitude have different clusters of activity. These are the clusters of activity of the earthquake right here, and this is a cluster right here as well. So that means there's two different faults that are actually moved. And that means that 7.5 magnitude was not an aftershock because you can tell by the cluster activities right here. I hope it's really educational for you guys. But there's still a lot of debate and everything about that, and I guess we'll find out after a lot of the scientific data will come out. But like I said, I'm not a seismologist. I just know how to take a look at the cluster activities to be able to figure out which faults are there on. And right here, let's see. Okay. So what triggered the earthquake is USGS published information on mechanism that triggered, and concluded that the 7.8 quake was triggered by two faults moving laterally against each other and on a strike slip. So this fault is moving laterally with this one, and basically it just stuck and slipped. And then both masses of Earth crust moved left in relation to another. So they're saying that they actually moved about 10 feet. Yeah, it's pretty devastating. I was reading a report, and it was absolutely devastating. So there's East Anatolian fault, and let me see if I can pull up the faults. Okay. I think I have a picture of faults in here as well. So there are three main fault lines that are within Turkey. Let's see. Bear with me. Let's get a little bit music going for a little bit background. Something slower. Tabs and files and everything. I know the thing is, like, this whole thing is absolutely devastating. It's one of those things where you don't want to do your job until you have to do your job, or you don't want me to have a job until I absolutely have to be a job. It's part of the emergency management, because it's yeah. Okay, I think I found it. Got it. All right, so we got the faults. right here. So this one, lost my notes. Okay, so East Anatolian Fault, it's right here, right? And then we have 3 plates. So you have Anatolian plate, you have Arabian plate, and African plate right here, and this is Eurasian plate. Actually, by the way, Ukraine is right over here, and along East Anatolian Fault, the Anatolian and Arabian plates slide and they chafe against each other. So right over here. There you go. Sorry, this is East Anatolian Fault, right? And so East Anatolian Fault and Arabian plates, these are the Arabian plates right here, slide and chafe against each other, and the results they're building stress, which is occasionally released in catastrophic slips. In case of the Anatolian Fault, the Arabian plate is moving northwest about, so like this. So northwest about 15 millimeters, which is 0.59 inches per year, while Anatolian plate size west-south. So it slides west-south, right? So it's moving this way and then slides west-south. So that's how they're able to move. So the normal movement about this one is 0.5 inches, 0.59 inches, and this one is 0.87. And the 2 plates are moving about 15 millimeters per year, so which is normal. But this time around, 2 masses of land slid up to 10 to 12 feet. It's roughly 3 meters, and then pass each other during a slip during this earthquake. So this is why it happened right here. And the greatest slip occurred about 50 kilometers or about 30 miles from epicenter. And it ruptured, USGS indicates it stretched over about 250 kilometers, so roughly around 150 miles. That's it slipped. So it ruptured pretty big hole. And there are saying that this region is actually on the verge of breaking apart. And this is kind of in the future that they're going to do a lot of studies. And then, but there are different models that we can really get into it. But figure out how long this earthquake has been in the works can be estimated during simple math and everything, but within 100 years, that you multiply by 10 feet and this and this and this, and all that means that this right here was about 200-year stress buildup, and that's a lot of stress buildup. And what happens with stress? It bursts. So this is my little scientific little thing for you. Yeah, it is a massive distance. It's a massive distance, and that's why it caused both of the earthquakes. And because, they're also comparing this earthquake. They're comparing it to San Andreas Fault within the state of California, and it's pretty devastating. But they mentioned that within, if this kind of earthquake does happen within the state of California, we wouldn't see as much disaster that is happening in Turkey, because a lot of the building codes and a lot of other things. But yes, so speaking of equipment, similar codes, earthquake codes to state of California. Okay, so I'm gonna get into this in a minute. Let me, because what you can do, I'm gonna share actually screen with you, the entire screen. Okay, so what I did, I went to Relief Web, and then that way you can it's not updated as often, as only updated 24 hours, and then there's other things that you can use, like, but you have to have a humanitarian ID to be able to like actually look up some of the stuff. It's really really easy to get, and so what I went and then found some things for you for the aid that's actually already happening on the ground. And then this is coming from Emergency Response Coordination Center for European Commission, European Union. And so as you can tell in here that where the people are placed. So one of the things they're facing right now is it is cold in multiple parts. So there are no warming shelters, and there are so many other people. No sound. Can you guys hear me? Yeah, nay? Sound? Okay. Maybe somebody just have themselves muted. There's sound. What are you talking about? Hi, random. Okay, so in here you can actually be able to tell where this aid is located on this map, and how violent of the and how the severe of the different affected areas. Let's see, and this one is a little bit outdated. It is. I pulled it this morning, and tomorrow morning they'll have a little bit more updated facts, and then these are some of the fatalities that they had as of this morning. And also, they do have on the website. They do have the emergency situation report. We call them the SIT reps. And within the SITREPs is basically, okay, devastating earthquake 7.8 on Richter scale hit southern Turkey. I'm not going to read all of this. We just went over why it all happened and what different faults it happened. So this was as of this morning, but right now they're estimating closer to 8,000, and a lot more people are affected. But in here, in this report, this right here, this is how many people are actually affected total, and as of this morning, casualties and injuries. Hey Native, welcome back. And so they have, this is the stuff that some of the things that they're gonna need is shelters, heaters, blankets, sleeping bags, food, and some of the things that they're asking European Union to help them out, because Turkey is part of the European Union. So they already have, actually, one thing that I did find out, one of the first emergency response teams that went into Turkey was one of Ukrainian response teams, because they are located right across the Black Sea. And I'm just absolutely amazed the fact that Ukrainians are at war as of right now, and then they're still able to dispatch some of the response teams to help out Turkey. And that was pretty amazing. But I also think because Turkey helped out with a lot of weapons systems, so they're kind of like, okay, we'll help you out too. So this is basically what they need, like shelters, food security, water, and then they this is one of the reports that what they already asked for, and this is how many bottles have been produced on the ground, obviously sanitary things. And you have, let's see. Okay, so these are the contact numbers. So within this report, I was reading it. They were asking the estimated death toll could be 20,000, and let's hope it's just estimated. But it's really neat the fact that they're being very transparent. The European Commission's been very transparent of what kind of help they're sending and what everybody else is needing. Yeah, this is an awful good friend of mine from Syria, and his parents still live there in the capital. I really hope they're not affected. I'm so sorry that happened. Let's see. Okay, so other things, they are sending humanitarian assistance. USAID is sending two urban search and rescue teams, and one of their urban search and rescue teams is actually from Los Angeles, California. And then these are brave guys and gals. Sorry, my nose is itching. I might be drinking later or something. So these are some of the guys and gals from USAR team for the U.S. International Disaster Relief, and then they were loading some of their equipment. One of the things is because they are getting dispatched. So these are some of our guys from down south. So one of the things, they are getting dispatched, not a little bit late, but this is usual because they still have to fly so many hours. And by the time they get there, it's not going to be a lot of, unfortunately, live rescue missions because they have to be operational within 18 hours after they land on the ground. So it'll be more of humanitarian help. It'll be more of doing search with some dogs just in case. They're bringing their dogs. And it's going to be more of what can we do to help out within humanitarian relief. And then, as you can tell, some of our guys in here from Southern California. And the second one is Virginia Task Force. Virginia Task Force USAR, Urban Search and Rescue. So they are getting prepared to go as well. They're bringing their search dogs. They're bringing all kinds of different equipment. I believe it was... there's an article on here. I believe it was about 20,000 pieces of equipment for only 20% or 80 personnel. So it was really interesting because they actually, and then these guys are trained. These guys are really trained to do those kind of missions. And then so USAID, they did a little article on them, just kind of little shout out as well, because they fall well within urban search and rescue FEMA teams. They can only respond to within the US and within the US and our neighboring places. But for these guys, they fall under international. So we have Virginia and Los Angeles task forces coming along. I really wanted to show some videos, but I think everybody has seen a lot of videos. I did have a comment. I had a comment on my page earlier. Yeah. There's gonna be a lot of casualties are coming out of this, and I had a comment on my page earlier that there are so many people out there, like right now, in a cold, and they lost everything. They don't know what to do. They just lost everything, and seems as if right now there are no help coming, but within the international help, it's a slow rolling machine. So within this kind of disasters, it's always a slow rolling machine. How do you get involved with these people? Are they separate than Red Cross? Yeah, so these are separate from Red Cross. They're trained personnel, and then the part of actually part of the federal agency. Well, they are local. They are locally trained personnel. They belong to these guys belong to Los Angeles County Fire Department. But there are multiple other options that you can get, that you can partner with, and there are different humanitarian response. You can help out through Red Cross. You can help out through. There are so many agencies out there. And let me see if this one got updated. No. Yeah, tomorrow morning we're gonna have a little bit more. I'll post a little update on my community page. Yeah, of course, we're not gonna actually stay out here for too long. I'm a bit exhausted. I just wanted to kind of come out and show my support and show. Really don't want to watch any more devastation, because it's been pretty devastating already. And everybody, I just wanted to put a little bit of answer any questions that you have, and put a little bit of perspective on what actually happened with from seismic activity. Let's see. So I do have Syria report and Turkey report. Nope, it's still not updated. Yeah, obviously they're really busy of updating everything. But you can go to, let's see, you can go to this website in the comments. So you can actually go to this website and then get live updates of what is happening, how they're requesting the reports, how they're requesting aid, because the aid have to come. The aid is coming through the UN, and it's coming through OCHA, because as in everything else, all the money pool and everything else have to be collected somewhere. So all of the aid, all of the money and everything, within this one big pool, there are multiple countries that sign up to say, hey, yes, we're going to be able to help out with emergency response, or we're able to help out with monetary or anything that they need, like supplies. And that's why this has been established. Let's see where to go. So OCHA, you can do financial tracking services, and you can actually see where the money is going, like where the funds are going within the whole world for the humanitarian aid. So this hasn't been updated, and I really wanted to show this, but it hasn't, because Turkey is still green on here. But as of tomorrow, hold on. Yeah, as of tomorrow is gonna get a little bit more updates on like where the funding is going and what countries are already supporting. So I really like just looking, instead of looking in the news, being able to see it for myself. Do you know if there are any banks set up? Sorry, I have not checked into it yet. There is. Let me see. So there are already things set up on their website where you can go and donate. Right here, donate, and you can actually specify where it's getting donated to. I'm not sure. It would be listed under the different humanitarian crises and everything. I can probably compile some kind of links and then get a little bit more of like actual organizations to donate into. When you talk about Ukraine, then yes, we can there's so many more. But this one, so obviously the UN Emergency Fund releases US 25 million to help people affected in the earthquakes in Middle East. So you can still donate into this one, and the money still will go towards the really, really good cause. It is United Nations Office for Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, and then they are always distributing the money where it needs to go. And then you can actually, so for example, right here, this is how much money has been coming in from each country for either mark or earn mark. So in earn mark means that the funding is just distributed to any other programs, but if you mark it, then it means it's going to certain humanitarian relief. And then as you can see all in here, and then they're very, very transparent about their plans, about their strategic plans. And like I said, I always like to go to the source instead of having 20,000 news reporting on the same thing. So if I wanted to do any kind of research or anything else that is going on for this country, I will go to here at first. So United Nations Office for Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs. And you can get into, let's see, press releases about, let's see. And then you can also sign up for the Humanitarian Action Analysis Needs and Response. And all of that is on this website. So all of this is just, if you're willing to sit down and do the steps and all about information management, it has all the policies, everything else that you really need. Hey, Led with Love, I haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, I don't want to watch the news. You're also sending, I could send to you as well. I'm not sending any monetary thing to help Turkey out. I wish I could. I wish I had the means. But this right here, right now, unfortunately, is my priority. And sometimes we have to set the priorities. All I can do is really just provide the information purposes, and where to send and everything. So Ukraine right now, because we are trying to send my mom to do some help out in Ukraine. And those things, those disasters, these kind of disasters, they're just, to me, it hits home a lot, because I get to, what I do is I prepare. I try to teach other people how to prepare, and when it does hit, when you have to work in it, you just work, and then you set your emotions aside, and then you just in it, and then you keep your composure and you just work. But when you actually in there and actually seeing it from the sidelines, and it's absolutely devastating, and the fact that the numbers are going to come out even more than expected. So I really hope that it was a little bit of informative. I didn't want to keep it long. I'm tired. I had to work all day, but yeah, it's so much trouble, so little help. You'll be surprised how much more help is actually going to get out there. Right now, it's only been It's only been about 24 hours, a little bit over 24 hours since the earthquake hit. And the help they might be getting right now is little, through their own agencies and surrounding countries. But the help is coming. The help is coming. The boots are already on the ground. There are so many different countries. There's Japan is sending some help. So all the European countries, because Turkey is part of NATO, and all of the European countries that that are able to go over there and help. So they're already there. They're sending dogs. You know what? I could show you this one snippet. Let's see. National help. Yeah, so actually, let's see what they can say. Sure. National help to Turkey. I really don't like Yahoo. And my browser keeps switching to. Alright, so countries that rush aid. What is going on? Alright, so countries that help and aid out rescue teams and offers. Okay, so what do we have in here? Okay, so governments around the world were quick to respond to requests for international assistance. Europeans said it was urgently dispatching search rescue teams from Bulgaria, Croatia, Czech Republic, France, Netherlands, Poland, Romania. In their statement, Greece said it was sending C-130 transport aircraft to help neighboring Turkey, along with 21 members of Greek Fire Services Special Disaster Management Unit, rescue dogs, rescue vehicles, medics, and head of government's Organization for Disaster Management, and Greek Civil Protection Agency. India was sending medical squads, search rescue teams, relief material to assist Turkey. India's Prime Minister said he was anguished by the loss of life in Turkey and Syria. U.S. National Security Advisor said the United States profoundly concerned, and then they directed USAID and other federal government partners to assess U.S. response options, as we just talked about, that they're sending two of the teams, one from Virginia, one from California. Britain is sending equipment, rescue dogs, team of 76 search and rescue specialists. Yeah, I heard about that one. Russia's emergency ministry put 100 staff on standby. That'll be interesting. Ukraine, which is battling against the Russian invasion, said stands ready to send large group of rescue workers to Turkey. Work closely with the Turkish side to coordinate the deployment. And then also the Israeli government said it was preparing to send search and rescue teams as well as medical assistance. And there are already Doctors Without Borders over there that are helping out on the ground as well. So even though we do not see all of this rescue is happening from the ground, but the people are coming, and then we'll hope it's gonna help out as much as they can. and it's going to be a devastating time for Turkey. Well, it already is, and I hope everybody's staying safe as much as they can and staying warm, because they definitely need some warm shelters, food, and a lot of support. So, yeah, I wanted to keep this really short, well, shorter than usual, because, and like I said, I don't want to show any videos, any devastating videos. I think I've seen already plenty of enough on the news coverage and everything. I had to turn that off myself, and I'm hoping it was pretty informative for why the tectonic plates were moving, and the fact that it's actually is going to cause rift effect for further devastation, not to population, but to actually tectonic plate movement. So, all right, yeah, praying for a miracle. Germany brought a team of rescue dogs. They did. Okay, well, everyone, you have a great night, and let's send a lot of good energy and a lot of support to people in Turkey and Syria. Have a great night.